Amigos, welcome back. So here you have us again. You're going to be doing how to hedge a bush, and then you're going to see us how to weed spray too. We are using Roundup Pro, so we're going to show you more. But for right now, let's get into this hedging job. And you guys can see most of my hedging is either I make it a round circle like a hot air balloon, or I do a cylinder. Or a square. Three simple choices. We always make that decision when it comes out here. One of the most important things that I do to all of our hedging is that we taper from the bottom. A lot of people just square it all the way down, but now out here in California, there's always just trash that creates in the middle of it, weeds grow in between, a lot of things that we don't like. Then you start seeing weeds grow over the bushes, and that's not good either. Crabgrass out here is pretty crazy and it'll take over. So we decide to make sure that we just go ahead and we taper all the bottom. You'll see me get on my knees here real quick and taper all the bottom, clean it up inside so we can see the bark and continue to let it grow. This certain bush right here, we only hedge once a year, so one time, this is the first time we do it, this is the last time we do it. We won't be back until next year hedging, and that's all we do. This is why it looks so crazy right now, but you can see it's trained. We've been here 5 years, so I hedge it once or twice a year, mostly once. Last year we did it once. This year we might have to do it twice because of all the rain and all the snow. But you can see that our hedger is just a one-way hedger, so I've always hedged one way. Going back and forth kind of makes it harder for me. Everybody works different, so this is what I had when I had the money. It cost me $500 for this hedge trimmer. It's a TMC. We have it in our 2020 lawn care setup, so you guys can go check it out. It's not the ultimate setup, but it's the regular setup. We have 2 videos out there of our lawn care setup. Once before, we had a couple of our tools stolen, so we had to adjust, buy simple tools, get a little trailer. One of our trucks went down, so you guys seen the video on that too. And we do whatever it takes. Nothing's gonna stop us from getting our houses done. Like I said before, we used to have 80 and now we have 20. I'm gonna make a video of how we started our lawn care business, but the house on the right, that was one of the first original houses that we've ever had. We left for 2 years, but just because of how good we are, they called us 2 years later. I guess they're into the church, so they had one of their brothers help them for 2 years while we were gone, and then we came back and they saw us at the neighbor's house again, and they were like, "Yeah, you guys still in business? Well, we want you guys back." And that's how it works, fellas. Years later, they'll call you back, so we'll give you a shot to look at the end, and then we'll have a final result. We'll go into another video. Thanks a lot, fellas. Amigos, what's up? So here we go. Welcome to the amazing sod job. We've been here so much already. Remember, this is the house that first allowed us to make a YouTube video. So always go back and remember to watch our first video. It's amazing sod job. It wasn't our first job, but it was our first video. I say it then, so we're so happy to be here. We used their mower. We always pull these weeds. This time they finally said go ahead and weed spray. It snowed here. It rained 5 days straight. They know that if we don't attack these weeds right here the time that we won't attack them until another month. We went ahead and weed sprayed everything. We made sure we pulled in between the flagstone. You can see the DG, it's the future. Weeds don't grow in between, and if they grow, they only settle on the top. So I decomposed everything out here. We weed sprayed. Big important stuff, we gotta make sure we weed whack everything first. Then I came back and heavy weed sprayed. We did the lawn, we did the trimming, and we double cut it. You can see the little squares. We went up and down, side to side. We created a tic-tac-toe lawn for them. So great stuff, fellas. It's the amazing sod job. There was a gopher here for a while, so it kind of ruined a couple things. We'll see whenever they're ready for a seeding, we'll get it done. But you can see the decomposed granite right there, perfect. What we didn't do is pick up the dog poop. That's not something we signed up for. So great stuff. Thank you for watching the amazing sod job. We'll watch a video about it. There's so many out there of this certain house, and it looks better every time we're here. So we'll take it to the next house. Alright fellas, so you saw right there Paola mowing, everything was great. You know, we're out here, there's plenty of videos of this too. Last year we were out here a full year. This certain person does not want to pay for a one-time cleanup. He wants to pay weekly and see the weekly progression, and hey, as long as he continues to pay us, it's great. We had to have a little chat and told him that this year it rained all week, it snowed twice, so we know that we used to sign up for a deal, but the deal's going up. He said totally understandable. We're going to talk about a spring cleanup. You guys see that it's like you're part of the desert out here. If you don't start taking care of it, you can see the rocks just start getting overwhelmed with weeds, you know. So when you start losing control, everything just looks crazy. We can't even mow under there, so there's too much pine needles. Even, you know, people use pine straws or pine needles to as ground cover or as weed barrier. Not in California, fellas. Everything grows. It doesn't matter, man. Things will grow underneath tires out here. People just things, that's the way things happen, you know. So then we go into Stater Brothers, and this is an area that we definitely don't take care of, but we get in trouble for it too, so over the time. So we go over here and weed spray this areas here. You know, things have happened so crazy that they treat this area like a lawn still. They change the rocks, but they never change the irrigation. There's a sprinkler right there. There's nothing we can do. So again, this year we're just gonna do the same thing. We're gonna talk to management, let them know that they have to help us with weed spray. They have to change these sprinklers. They said they were gonna pay me to come out here and do an estimate of what it requires for them to get subsurface irrigation, like we've done before in the front. About 2-3 years ago, we did subsurface in the front. You know, we didn't do any of this. Somebody else had done this before us, but as you can tell, they didn't do such a great job, and we're the ones that are paying for it. We're the ones that are getting in trouble for it, and we're the ones that get crazy calls and emails and pictures sent. I mean, sometimes management sends pictures of areas that we don't even take care of, and they're like, hey, this area looks crazy, and I'm like, yeah, I know, that's because it's not our area, check the map. And then, you know, sometimes the new manager comes in and they think they're new, so they have to do extras, and they call it in, and then they find out that I've been there longer than they have. So like, for example, this area, they're like, why are you only cleaning half? Because only half of it is ours. You can tell there's blacktop and there's no blacktop, you know. So we'll suffer for a while. We do the back, we weed spray, heavy weed spray this week. We weed sprayed the whole back, the whole front, and the weed will come back in a month and they'll tell us like, hey, what have you guys been doing? You know, that's why we started recording this year. You know, a couple weeks ago when they tried telling us what we were doing, we showed them the same exact video of the same exact weeds a month ago, and they were the same exact thing. They're not the same weeds, they're different ones. We weed sprayed them last time. Thanks again, amigos. AUC, amigos.